Hello everyone, welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione, and boy have I picked a tough one today. It's the SimRaceShop GT3 Series on Low Fuel Motorsport, 45 minutes at Monza with a mandatory pit stop. Now I'm in the bottom split for this one, so I could be competitive here. I'll be starting from P11 on a grid of 31.
Green light, green light.
Here we go then, the lights are green and we are underway at Monza. This is going to be a real test of my concentration levels. A longer 45-minute race, a stacked grid and a Monza circuit that can wipe you out at any moment. And nowhere is that more true than T1. 31 cars, one chicane. Will we get through it? Oh, we take a big hit from behind. There's a pink Porsche sideways in front of me. That's the number 21, Leo Statkus. Statkus was all over the place there, but he's got going again. And somehow we have got through. Well, we took a fairly hefty wallop to the rear end there. And that first chicane was effectively turned into a car park. The moment that Statkus spun, as soon as I ground to a halt, I braced myself. I was expecting to feel a hit from behind. Hopefully, it's the only hit from behind I'll get. Oh dear me, that was an even bigger one. Thomas Mayer in the Ferrari behind, steaming in there. We are taking a proper battering on this opening lap. We have to have picked up rear end damage. Hopefully it's not too severe. The car does feel very slippery through Lesmo 1, but that might just be because the tyres aren't up to temperature yet. Meanwhile in Lesmo 2 there's a Mercedes out really wide. That's Johnny Rodera. We've got the run on him. We've pulled alongside, but unfortunately there's a Ferrari roadblock right in front of us. That's Mangia Fazula. So rather than go into Ascari 3 wide, I do just lift a little bit there. We'll tuck back in behind Rodera. And we're down to 16th position, so we've lost 5 places from where we started on the grid. That incident in T1 really costly. We'll go back and check out a replay of it shortly, but for now we'll stick with the live action because I am chasing down Rodera here. Rodera himself is going to have a look up the inside of Fazula. Is he going to make a move into the Parabolica? Well, no, he's not. In fact, he's very early on the brakes. He's hesitant to make that move. As a result, that sends me out a little bit wider and then light up the rears. We lose a bit of traction coming out of the Parabolica, and that has cost us another position. Ulrich Madison in the Lamborghini has gone by. Dear, oh dear. I said at the start of this race I thought I might be competitive, but at the moment I am only going backwards. I'm down to P17 now. I might be able to challenge Madison up the inside into T1. Do you know what? I'm going to think better of this one. It's early in the race. I don't want to be sending it up the inside into T1. Oh, but Andre Bock in the BMW is far more ruthless. He makes a pass through the chicane. I'm down to P18 now. Right, let's go back and check out the replay to see the turn 1 carnage. Look towards the back of the screen. There's a black Mercedes that goes out onto the grass, loses control and slides back in. From there, it's a domino effect. I saw a green Mercedes get pushed over on the grass to the right. That was Johnny Rodera who ended up in front of me. Now we're watching again from the chopper cam. And the hit I took from behind was actually caused by that McLaren that got wiped out. Hans Zimu, he's rolling backwards, rolls into the BMW of Andre Bock, and that pushes Bock into me. So a messy turn 1, but by Monza standards, that wasn't too bad. However, I suffered a bigger hit at the next chicane. The cars in front of me were too wide, so I couldn't take any other line in there, and that cold Ferrari of Thomas Mayer just comes steaming in. I did retaliate a little bit and gave him a little pinch just to squeeze him out onto the curb there and hold on to my position. On board with Mayer now. We can see how hot he runs in. And then he tries to force his way around the outside, so I made sure I didn't leave him the room to get past. But yeah, I think this is going to be a long 45 minutes. Before the lights went green, I had aspirations of challenging for a top 10, but that seems a long way off at the moment. We are down in P18, approaching the end of the second lap. We are going to get one position back at least. Look to the right of the screen. The yellow flags are out, and that pink Porsche of Leo Statkus is out into the gravel. Now, we saw Statkus getting all sorts of bother at T1, but he had an even bigger problem coming through Ascari on lap 2. He just clips that curb on the inside. It unsettles the car and he hits the wall hard. Lap 3 then, we're still in P17, but this group of cars are bunched closely together now. We've got just a 0.9 of a second advantage over Thomas Mayer behind in 18th, but the 3 cars in front are all within 1 second. Andre Bock in 16th, Ulrich Madison in 15th, and Mangia Fazula in 14th. And it looks like Bock in that BMW fancies a move on Madison. He's having a look up the inside on the approach to Ascari. It's a risky place to pass. He does think better of it. He gets on the brakes, but he might have spooked Madison. Madison out onto the gravel. We're going to have to leave him room in case he rejoins on the inside. He does do, but we get past. We're up into P16. And yeah, I've got sympathy for Madison here. I've made the exact same mistake when I've been worried about the car behind making a move up the inside. You just miss your braking point, get out onto the gravel. Thankfully, we left him just enough space to get back on. So we're up to P16, and as we rejoin the live action on lap 4, you'll see that the order ahead has been shuffled up a bit. Fazula is making a break for it. However, Samuel Mbugua in the Lamborghini is heading in the opposite direction. Mbugua started 5th on the grid, but he has dropped like a stone. He's down into P15, and he's only 0.3 of a second ahead of me, so Mbugua must have picked up some damage. Meanwhile, in the rearview mirror, I'm starting to see a bit of daylight between me and Maya now, so that's good. He's now more than 1.5 seconds back, so that eases the pressure a bit behind. I can concentrate on this pack of cars in front because they are still fighting closely together, this group of 4. 4 cars within a second of each other. And Mbugua might have box number here. He's got a much faster exit out of the Parabolica. That Lamborghini has got some real pace. He's got past the BMW. He's going to have the inside line for T1 as well. It'll be interesting to see if Bob fights back. We know he's not afraid to go around the outside into the chicane. He did it to me on lap 2. And we've lost someone in the chicane. That was Mangia Fazula facing the wrong way. So that's another position gain. We're up into the top 15. But what happened to Fazula? I thought he was making a break for it. Well, he's been overtaken by Manu Ortega. Oh, he's going to get tagged from behind by the BMW. Oh no, he's going to rejoin across the track as well. He's taken out 3 cars as he tries to get back on. Yeah, watching again from the chopper cam, this was the battle raging behind the instant. There's the rejoin, and it results in a knock-on effect that takes several cars out. More turn 1 carnage here at Monza. Right, lap 6 then. We're still all over this Lamborghini of Mbugua, but I can't find a way through. However, look how close the pack are together. 5 cars in front, all within a couple of seconds of each other. So although we're down in P15 at the moment, we've got visibility of P10. And let's not forget, this is a longer race. We've still got more than half an hour to go and a mandatory pit stop, so anything could happen. And just as I say that, we lose Mock in front. He's going to slide back across track. Oh, thankfully we guessed the right way to go. We had to take to the grass to avoid that, and we managed to do it by the skin of our teeth. Well, not only did I manage to avoid Bot, but I also managed to get around Mbugua, who was swerving to his right. Oh man, that couldn't have been any closer. I've had a couple of frights in this race already, but that was the biggest one yet. We're now riding on board with Mbugua in the Lamborghini. He reacts really quickly, gets on the brakes early and avoids a bigger hit, but yeah, I just breezed by there on the grass. That was really, really lucky, and it's put us up into P13. We're rejoining the live action on lap 8, and you can see the effect of that evasive action. It's caused me to lose around a second on this pack in front. We're now chasing Manu Ortega in 12th, but further ahead there's been another incident. There's a McLaren rejoining. That's Ilya Kvasov. So Kvasov's clearly had problems of his own at Lesmo too, and we've got the run on him here, so we should be able to get around it before we get to Ascari. Thankfully we do. It does mean I take the inside line, which makes me a bit untidy through here, but we get the job done. We're up into P12, and we're now chasing Ortega. He's 1.5 seconds clear. Here's a replay of the mistake that Kvasov made, just getting out onto the AstroTurf, loses the grip and slides into the wall. Well, after climbing up into P12, we soon approached the part of the race where pit stops started being made. I'm now in P10 towards the end of lap 10, but that's because of drivers ahead pitting early. On track, I've been concentrating on closing that gap to Ortega. It was 1.5 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now just 0.4 of a second, so we've got a real charge on here. It looks like Ortega might have run in a bit too hot into the Parabolica. He's completely missed the apex. There's a gaping hole on the inside for me to dive up and take P9. So we're going to jump forward now a couple of laps, returning to the live action on lap 12. I'm now in P8. That's because another driver further ahead has pitted. But look how much I'm closing in on the 2 cars ahead. Alexei Gulanin in 7th and Johnny Rodera in 6th. I feel like I'm building up some real momentum now. My lap times are down to 1:49 flat. That's pretty much what I was doing in qualifying, so I'm feeling good here. I've got the bit between my teeth. But I'm about to make a decision that almost costs me the race. I'm reeling in Gulanin here. And at the last possible moment, I see a gap up the inside that I try and go for. It wasn't really there. I came from too far back. There wasn't space. I had to get onto the curb and the grass, and I so very nearly lost it. That allows Ortega to get back past, but he goes straight for pit lane, as do the two cars in front. I'm staying out for one more lap, however. Let's check out the replay of this overtake attempt into the Parabolica. It almost ended in tears. It's very unlike me to make a move this rash, actually, but I saw the gap open up. I thought I might be able to squeeze it up the inside, but it was ambitious, to say the least. At this point, when I was sideways and facing the barrier, I thought my race was over. Thankfully, we held on. And then a lap later, we do come into the pits. We're actually at P4 by this point, but I've got no idea where I'll actually be when I get back out on track. We won't have long to wait, though. Here we go, the pit stop is about done, we are refueled, we're ready to get back out there, and the big question is, where will we be? What position will we be in? I suspect we'll be around P12, because that was the position we were holding before cars started pitting. However, I did decide not to get any repairs done, so that saved me a little bit of time. And it looks like it might have paid off, because we've rejoined in P8. Now, can we get to T1 ahead of Alexei Gulanin in 9th? Yes, we can. He's still 2 seconds back, and Manu Ortega in 10th is more than 4 seconds back. The car in front is a back marker. That's Sebastian Fuchs. Oh, and he eases right off there. I almost ran into the back of him. Well, that was a fright that I wasn't expecting to get. I mean, fair play to Fuchs. He was observing the blue flags. He lifted to let me pass. But yeah, I think my concentration levels dipped a little bit there when I almost ran into the back of him. No harm done, though. We're going to jump forward now to lap 18 and look at the leaderboard. I'm up into P7. And that's because the driver in 3rd place, Jose, backstage, got handed a stop-go penalty for speeding in pit lane. Meanwhile, behind me, this is the battle for P8. Manu Ortega making a brave move up the inside of this chicane to overtake Alexei Gulanin. And because these two guys were fighting so closely together, I didn't really have any problems through the second half of the race. It was a lonely run in 7th position. So we're going to bring it home and take the checkered flag well inside the top 10. A finish that seemed unthinkable earlier in the race when I was languishing all the way down in P18. Here are the classified results then. A P7 finish. More than happy with that, with a fastest lap in the race of 1:49 flat. The top 5 looked a little bit out of reach here. They were all lapping in the 1:48, so I think I did about as good as I possibly could here, and I'm really happy with it. Thank you ever so much for watching.